is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Manbitesfilm, episode 78. As always, I'm your host, Branden. Joining me is the regular crew, my lovely cousin, Gecko.
Yes, and we are officially in fucking October.
Yes, and my internet's fine this time. And William's back from New York Comic Con. Woo!
Somewhat.
Yay.
I'm sorry. I was just, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything. As always, if you are joining us for the first time or the 78th time, we are a weekly movie podcast where we have movie news. I cannot English properly already. We review one movie altogether, and at the end of the show, we have our 3 individual reviews. So, Lewis, what is the movie news?
So, starting off strong with October, I want to go straight into one thing that just really caught my attention. First of all, because it's one of my favorite horror movies, and second of all, Stanley Kubrick, obviously.
Jack Nicholson's hard on already.
Jack Nicholson's axe officially sold in auction for $200,000, and I was like, "Oh my god, that is awesome!" That they're still selling memorabilia from this movie constantly, and it's
how much to sell for?
$200,000.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money.
I know, right?
That's a fucking house.
That's more than a fucking house. Yeah. Jesus.
Seriously. Next bit of news, which is I'm guessing there's a whole bunch of Marvel stuff that I want to kind of mention, but the first thing is Spider-Man. Tom Holland actually personally, quote unquote, helped save the Sony and Disney deal.
Yes, he did.
So it's kind of funny because, you know, I just saw Far From Home again because it came out on DVD, and I was like, oh, look at that. He's mending bridges on all sides.
Oh,
in real
wow.
life.
Just like bridges.
I'm going to die. I'm just going to commit seppuku over here. Yeah, he spoke to Bob Iger, which is the head of Disney, and then the head of Sony, which unfortunately, I don't know who that is off the top of my head.
Some Japanese dude.
Probably not. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna probably not. But yeah, he spoke to both of them, and he was like, "You're dumb. Mend. People want this shit."
Yeah,
and
seriously, I mean,
and I don't know who caved in first. I don't know if it was Disney or Sony, but somebody did. And
it was probably Sony. Let's be real.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. But
wasn't it Disney that was getting the shit end of the stick when it came to the...
Yeah, but Sony's the one that leaked it. So I think what they're trying to do is they're doing a bidding war. They're trying to screw around with the fans and stuff like that. And it's part of, you know, it's just part of business. But they did it publicly instead of, you know, behind closed doors, which is different. But anyways,
Gotcha.
next thing that I want to bring up is John Wick is officially getting a female-led spinoff called The Ballerina.
Cool. Have they said who's gonna be this ballerina?
Not yet, but the director is actually gonna be Lynn Wiseman.
Educate me. I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
Fucking. Welcome to Manbitesfilm, everyone. We are a movie podcast where we don't know jack shit. Continue. Oh, I haven't seen Parabellum.
What was that about?
God,
okay there?
You okay?
Yeah.
What happened? Talk to me, buddy.
Yeah.
No, it's just you two. Welcome to the podcast where we don't know shit.
So, speaking of, actually, perfect segue.
How do you segue we don't know shit?
Martin Scorsese has officially come out saying that Marvel movies are not cinema. What do you guys think of this? Because I personally agree with him. I've been seeing this for the last.
I feel like 90% of the time my cousin says a segue and it's not really a segue, but he just wants to make himself feel better. And that's what he does. But going back to Marvel, yo, at the end of the day, dude, who am I to say that something is not a film, dude? A lot of time and effort.
No. He didn't say that it's not a film. He said that it's not cinema.
What the fuck does that mean, bro?
Cinema is a piece of art. It is something that is actually something that's going to stand the test of time. I don't believe that these Marvel films will stand the test of time. I think that they will.
I think they will.
I think that it would be like these movies from the 50s and 60s that none of us know anymore and don't, just gone.
I'm pretty sure they're going to remember the biggest box office grossing movie of ever so far.
Yeah, but that changes really quickly.
No,
that changes very quickly. So it's something that's relative to now, but in 20, 30 years, will it stand the test of time? I don't think so. I think
when it comes to superhero films, when it comes to like comic book films in general, I think it will. Maybe if you're comparing it like...
I'm comparing it to cinema. Like, I'm talking about cinema, which is like classic films.
Bro,
these are...
You know what? I like movies. And you know what, Scorsese? Fuck off, dude. If people like comic book movies, then fuck off.
Let me ask you this, Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this. And I'm not like saying this to like probe and hey, you said that about Lord of the Rings. What would you take me?
I would disagree with him because Lord of the Rings is different.
Why is that?
It is, and before you answer, and the reason why I ask why so, they are both like fantasy movies.
Mm-hmm.
They are both about defeating evil and overcoming, overcoming differences, overcoming being the underdog. They are both. I mean, okay, granted, Marvel. Like I will say that like maybe not all 22 Marvel movies will withstand the test of time, but I mean the big names like Endgame, Civil War, Infinity War, the original Iron Man, like they all are kind of like the same premise. So why is one better considered than the other?
Because one is a feat of art, the other one is popcorn movies. And popcorn movies, for the most part, do not hold to the test of time. They don't. And that's just been proven time and time again. And the cinematography of Lord of the Rings is beautiful. I can't name a single Marvel movie where I could tell you a single scene that actually, like, wow, that is awesome stuff. That is not CGI'd 100%. Like, Lord of the Rings, yes, there's CGI in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but it's not all CGI. The landscapes are real. There's actual skill involved using the camera.
Avatar is like 90% CGI'd. And
I wouldn't consider it a classic feat of cinema. It is a popcorn movie. I've said that since the beginning. I've never thought that it's an actual part of cinema because it's not. I think it's very pretentious look on movies and stuff like that, but that's what he's stating. He's saying that this is not cinema.
That's the thing. At the end of this, it's just people on their high horses that are like, that's not a movie or whatever. That's not cinema because it doesn't, follow this certain like regimen or whatever, like cookie cutter. And it's just like, bro, people like superhero movies, and maybe to some people they will be like, it will stand against the time. Basically, I can't speak correctly today.
No, but I agree with you. I'm not saying that they're bad films. They're not bad films if you put them as films. But when it comes to cinema, it's a different story. I hold it in higher regard, and to be able to meet up to being part of cinema history, that is something that's like the highest regard you could have. And these movies they just don't hold up to that. Yeah, the stories and stuff like that, the comic books themselves, the storytelling itself, yes, but the actual films do not. Like, the concepts behind the films have been done in so many classic films, but the reason that those stories don't become part of cinema when it comes to Marvel movies is because of their execution, the way that they're done. It's not done that you could actually hold it to that regard. I can't say that the cinematography of any of the Marvel movies is great, and that's a key element in cinema, because I can't tell you what's real and what's not, because most of it is fake. It's all computer animated.
I mean, but okay, so obviously it wasn't computerized because they didn't have it at the time, but Citizen Kane, which is regarded as one of the best pieces of movie, doesn't have cinematography.
Yes, it does. Oh my God, yes, it does. That's the whole banking of that is cinematography, the lighting, the what do you call it, the camera movements, the angles. That's all cinematography. That's all it is, and that's what the whole film is about. And that's why I don't personally enjoy it, because you have to have all key elements to make it a good film. You have to have a story that's entertaining and engaging with the cinematography, with the editing, with the music, with the story. If any of those pieces are out of place, then the movie falls apart. And that movie falls apart very quickly.
I don't know.
I will have to agree to disagree on this, because I feel like there's, in the genre of movie that Marvel falls under, I think that it's in a league of its own. Not a league of its own. It's in a different It's in a different category than Scorsese movie, than Spielberg movies, and all the other movies. And I think that, like, again, in the category that Marvel is, popcorn movies, I think that it is a leader in the popcorn movies, which we will not soon forget. Whether it be CGI'd or else.
Okay. All right.
I agree.
Speaking of Spielberg, actually, Spielberg has officially wrapped in filming West Side Story.
Christ, I fall into it every time.
Which, I don't know about how you guys feel about the remake of West Side Story.
Never seen the original, so...
Wow, you're like the worst Latino ever.
Why?
Because it's yeah.
I know it's about Latinos but I don't know. But I like musicals, but like I'm very
I'm not a big musical person.
But I'm very selective of the musicals that I watch, and I guess West Side Story, I know to a lot of people they'll probably be like, ew. Has never really caught my attention, and maybe I should give it a shot. I just never have.
It's not a great film in my opinion, but it's
again, good. It's coming from a person that doesn't like musicals, so shut the hell up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't really appreciate it, but
tell him like it is.
Shut your face, Branden.
It's like if I went up to Samara and I'm like, oh, tell me about something that she doesn't like, or we talk about a movie and she's like, oh, I don't really like that genre, but it's still shit, and I'm like, but what? Now, if I went up to Samara and asked her about musicals, I would actually take her opinion into consideration, because she actually likes that genre. So,
and I agree with Branden on that. Like, if Scorsese had done like something in the Marvel universe, or like it was part of that, whatever you want to call it, the series. Then okay, yeah. And don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm sitting here like not valuing Scorsese's opinion.
But I mean, Scorsese. That's the thing, though. He's not just a film director. He's an archivist. He's a film teacher. He wears a lot more hats than just a film director.
But also, he probably comes off like a douche, like a self-entitled douche that thinks he knows everything and thinks that his opinion of film is like better than some other people's, and it's like, fuck off, man. No, it's not. Who the fuck is he to tell anybody it's not going to hold up, or that
his understanding of film is probably on par with I would probably say maybe Kubrick and maybe Kurosawa. That's it. Like, he's a master director, and not only that, but he's an archivist, which he sees
That's
so
fine.
much.
I'm not taking away from his skill as being a director. I just think that a lot of these directors are on this fucking high horse, and they need to just fuck off and get off.
I mean, I will just simply say this. What was it that
sparked this?
Oh my god. The direct. I'm blanking right now. I'm so tired.
What actually brought it up?
No. The director of Avatar. Help me out.
James Cameron.
James Cameron had said something in regards to the whole Avengers thing, and like how he basically, like, I don't want to say like he shit on them, but like he put them like below his movie and whatnot. But then when Endgame ended up beating Avatar, he was gracious enough to be like, okay, like I will give, props where props are due, and he was very professional about it. And maybe we'll see. Maybe in time, Scorsese will come around. Not necessarily come around, but
Probably
maybe
not.
Probably not.
Probably not. But
because honestly, that's the thing, though. Like his way of looking at it, which is very much I agree with, and I agree with. There's a couple other podcast people that I listen to that have the same opinion of this. That it is very much it takes away audiences from smaller films being made, and that money that the studios invest normally in like smaller productions and more. What do you call it? How can I say they actually push the limits of film and actually go out of the ordinary box, which Marvel movies do not. They are very cookie cutter. They're very popcorn. It follows the popcorn formula very much. It doesn't push the envelope in any way or form. And these smaller films do. That money is going to the Avatar film, to the, what do you call it, the Avengers films, Avatar films, all these bullshit franchises that aren't really contributing anything to cinema or pushing the envelope forward. All they're doing is making it stagnant.
So I agree with you and I don't. Because, okay, yes, on the one hand, they are taking money away from like what could be a potential project for somebody else and whatnot. On the other hand, when they break $1 billion, it's like, okay, we could give this $2 million to this person, to person A, and they could make this movie. Or we can just take the $2 million and put it, towards Endgame. Now Endgame breaks the $1 billion to $2 billion mark. Now they're like, we have a surplus of $4 million. Now we can take this $4 million and give it to the original guy we're going to give it to, and now he's got double the budget.
Give me an original film that's come out of Disney recently.
Moana.
Yeah, that's not original though.
Yeah, it is.
Is anything original and technically?
Well,
nothing really technically.
No, but that actually pushes the envelope.
It wasn't
like
sequel.
Tron did in the 80s. It's stuff like that. That Disney was known for pushing the envelope before. Look at the Disney Renaissance, what they did for voiceover actors. Look what they did in animation back in the 50s. Look what they did with special effects and CGI in the 70s and 80s with Tron. They haven't done that now. They're not doing that anymore. Why? Because they're making these cookie cutter films in Marvel.
But the thing is, it's so hard to make anything original anymore, really.
It's not a matter of being original. It's a matter of pushing the envelope further. Like, I give props to Cameron because at least he's pushing the envelope with his cookie cutter bullshit. At least he's doing that. So I give him props for the technique and the skill that he's putting behind this.
When you think about it, and again, let me start by saying I value Scorsese as one of the best directors of not just our generation, but any generation.
Yeah.
But his movies aren't exactly original either. You always have the good guy. You always have the bad guy. You have the story about the mob. You have the story about this.
I'm talking about the filmmaking itself. Like, the techniques and everything that Scorsese did, like, nobody could hold up against him when it comes.
Well, yeah, but you're talking about like original movies. You're talking about like
I'm talking about techniques.
Cookie cutter
techniques, not stories. Stories.
Yeah. When was the last time Scorsese came up with something that he had done already before?
Yeah, but the techniques are different. Look at The Departed compared to Casino, compared to Goodfellas, compared to all these movies. Boxcar Bertha, for crying out loud. His closest thing to cookie cutter, you could actually say, it has like these amazing one track shots that are like fantastic. They're pushing the envelope. Raging Bull with the the actual point of view shots of the boxing, everything like that, the handheld cameras that are very much to the French New Wave and all that stuff. It's completely different, and it is technique. It's changing the game. I can't say it's Marvel.
I feel like if you're putting out movies, regardless who you are, regardless of the movie, it's meant for an audience. It's meant for, like Marvel has inspired, future generations, kids to be like, hey, I can be a superhero when I grow up. Or, hey, I want to be in the movies and shoot these kind of movies. Like, I want to be the next person to do the next big Marvel movie. Movies are meant to inspire us. Movies are meant to give us a good time. If you don't like something, don't go watch it, but don't go bashing on somebody else's product or somebody else's, what other people put out, because I mean, there's always going to be somebody that thinks or that feel like they're better than somebody else, or that their product is better than somebody else. Just leave it alone. Just be like, it's not for me. I think that, whatever, you think, and that's it. But, if they don't stand the test of time, they don't stand the test of time, whatever. But I mean, there are so many movies that don't test. Why go after the Marvel movies? Because they're the big thing right now. Let's say.
Yeah, well, because he was asked actually in the interview what he thought of the Marvel movies, and he was actually promoting The Irishman, and they asked him straight up like what he thought about the Marvel movies, and he said that's not cinema. That was his answer. So I mean, he was straight up asked, and he killed the question by saying that it's not cinema.
It's just I don't know. I'm done with this.
So,
continue. Thank you.
So this is a perfect segue to what the fuck news. Tom and Jerry live action film.
No, why?
And Chloe Grace Moretz is saying that it's actually like one of the most seamless integrations of live action to animation.
All right, have we seen what they did with cats? So why do we want to add more cat live action shit to this?
Wait for it. It gets better.
Oh, God.
Disney is developing,
of course,
Disney again, Inspector Gadget live action movie reboot again.
No! Have you seen what did happen the last time?
Yep. Another fun fact, which I found hilarious, was that Matt Damon turned down a role in Avatar.
Matt Damon. Yes, he did.
Which I didn't know that, but I was like, wow.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah.
It's breaking news now because of he was actually asked again for the new films and he said no again.
Matt Damon does not want to be part of anything with James Cameron. He's like, no.
Yeah. And then the last thing of what the fuck news before we wrap up this segment is Zack Snyder is doing a zombie action movie called Army of the Dead that's actually going to release next winter.
Hey, real random, William, since you live in New York, did you see the fucking in Times Square, someone rented out one of the screens and they released the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League?
I saw that, and he actually tweeted about it, and he thanked the fans for doing that.
Yo,
there was actually a cosplayer. There was actually a cosplayer at Comic-Con this past weekend who literally, his entire cosplay was just him walking around with a sign that said "Release the the Zack Snyder
Justice League."
Yeah, Justice League. Which I don't think that's gonna make the movie any better. But hey, I just found it funny that people.
It is.
Yes, it was. That movie was fucking horrible.
Yeah, it was whatever.
Dude,
it's a popcorn movie.
No. I will not get into this right now. At least
I almost dragged you back into it.
At least, look, I'll say this. At least the Marvel movies had one film for every person, or almost one film for every person before they decided to do a film where they all joined up. Cyborg, Flash, Aquaman, and that's it, right?
Yeah, sure.
All those three characters literally were shown for 2 seconds in Batman v Superman before they were shown in Justice League. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck is going on in DC, but Jesus Christ.
They didn't plan it well. But yeah, that's
whatever.
William, did you want to bring up anything about New York Comic Con and your experiences?
Oh, dear God.
Give any thanks.
Yes. Well, thank you for anybody and everybody that took part in it and came out, made memories.
I want to thank you for gracing me with that video.
Gracing us, all of us.
Yes, everybody with that video.
So, for those that don't know, thanks, guys. I was trying to avoid that like the fucking plague.
You don't have to go. No. You don't have to go into that.
Why?
I'm just saying.
I will. I mean, like, I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna own up to it because there's nothing to own up. It's just As you guys know, as I've been talking about, I've been pushing my You Are Worthy project, and in order to like really embody it, I decided to do I was doing Fat Thor, and then Saturday I decided to do topless Fat Thor, like when you first see him on screen in Endgame. It took off like I would have never been able to realize how much this was going to take off. Fast forward to Saturday night at the Championships of Cosplay. They do a dance-off after they present the cosplayers and while the judges are deliberating. I was sitting front row. I got pulled on stage.
So you didn't do this out of your own accord.
Well, I mean, the guy pointed and he was like, he was pulling people out of the crowd. He was like, Fat Thor front row, come on up, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, great. Google Fat Thor NYCC, and there are 3
Magic Mike
videos. And before we came on the air, I was sent a link because I wasn't aware of this. Sci-Fi Wire.
Yep.
Oh, shit, really?
Recorded the entirety of the Championships of Cosplay, including the dance-off. So if you go to Sci-Fi Wire and you put in Championships of Cosplay, fast forward to the 55th minute, that's when I come on. This has been seen by 7.1 thousand people. The good thing about it is that the comments are all very positive. There's only a couple comments which are like about my dancing or what went on. The rest are about the cosplayer, which is which is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But they're all positive, so I'm happy about that.
You got me hot and bothered, dude.
Jesus. What was great about it? What made me do it on Sunday as well? Because on Sunday I was going to do a different version of Fat Thor. What made me come back on Sunday again as topless Fat Thor was when I got off stage and everything was said and done. We were leaving. This little girl, about 12 years old, came up to me, and she's like, "Is it okay if I give you a hug?"
Oh.
And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And she like almost takes me out, like she just almost bowls me over. Like this is how fast she came in for a hug. And and her dad comes around, and he's standing behind her, and afterwards, she's like, she's talking to me, and she's like, "I want to thank you for doing what you did. Because for once, I felt secure with my body. I felt like it was okay to feel the way that I, to look the way that I look, and that I should be proud and happy with the way that I look." And she was like tearing up, and her dad is just looking at me kind of like, "Thank you for doing this." Like it changed her.
That's amazing.
And that is exactly why I've been doing the hashtag You're Worthy, why now I've put myself out there. This was my first ever topless costume. Come Sunday, I walk in, I got people that are working the convention coming up to me asking me, "Were you the Thor on stage last night?" And I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "You were amazing, and the fact that you put yourself out there the way you did was just completely inspiring." And throughout the entire day, even people that were there just for Sunday had seen the video and were coming up. They're like, "Were you the Thor from last night?" Oh my God. People that were there the night before, they're like, "Hey, Thor, great job last night." It made me feel so good, and it made me feel like it was all worth it, and it was so great. And usually we share stories about going to conventions, about like meeting celebrities and having like these magical moments with celebrities and all the good stuff, which is great. But the highlight of Comic-Con had nothing to do with celebrities. I mean, I have highlights with them. I saw Hiddleston again as Fat Thor, which I made him laugh. He held the hammer. I got the pictures and everything. But the fact that I helped people feel better about themselves and helped them through their insecurities, to me, is what made my New York Comic Con cheer. So it was great. If anybody that listens saw me or has heard about it or whatnot, by all means, leave us comments. Let us know. let me know. I plan on taking him for at least one day at MegaCon next year.
Is he going to be shirtless?
He is going to be. It's going to be in fucking Florida. He is sure as hell going to be shirtless. I am not wearing a sweatshirt and a robe and whatnot. Yeah, no, we're going to be dying with like the wig and whatnot. But yes, he's very, very, very much going to be shirtless Fat Thor.
Awesome.
So it was great. It was definitely like a con above the rest. And I am in between cons right now because I'm resting this week. But while I'm resting, I'm packing for LeakyCon that's coming up this weekend. There will be no shirtless Kowalski. Just if anybody's wondering,
just wear the little.
Just wear the pants and have like the little niffler, walk around with the little niffler. No, there will be no shirtless Kowalski, but it's going to be all Potter. I'm going to see a lot of my Potter family and friends, which is I always absolutely love.
You should totally do shirtless Kowalski. Dude, that would be hilarious. Just the what do you call it?
You're wearing a tie, but nothing else.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. No, I'm with conventions like Comic-Con, you
could take the niffler to your tit.
I feel like it's a different circle of people.
Cover your nipple with it.
Have two little baby nifflers as like my little
like tassels, like nipple
tassels. Yeah, there you go. Have little baby tassel nifflers. That's gonna ruin so many kids' childhood. I swear to God. No, I can't do that to them. Like I have my limits, and it's not because I wouldn't do. Just for the record, it's not that I wouldn't do topless Kowalski. Like if I went to like an after party cabaret thing, whatnot. I would probably do topless Kowalski because it's an adult thing. It's 18 plus. All right.
But Harry Potter has a lot of kids.
It's a lot. It's a much smaller convention. There's going to be a lot of kids, and I don't want to be like, mommy, why is Hagrid topless?
Why is Hagrid?
Why is Hagrid topless?
So
on that note,
on that note, thank you, everybody that came up to me and even just high-fived me and made me feel like it was worth everything that I did. And again, YouTube it if you want at your own peril because it will be etched in the back of your head.
Oh, it's dude, okay. I've shown that thing to everybody at my job, and everybody's like, oh my God, that is awesome.
I walked into work, and 4 of my bosses, who I'm not even friends with on Facebook and do not follow me on any social media, had already seen the video.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see it on our Manbitesmedia page too, because we uploaded it on there too.
Yeah, because why the fuck not?
All right.
Moving on.
All right, guys. So stay tuned after this quick break when we come at you with our new, not so new segment, the movie bucket list,
led by Fat Thor, topless.
Yes.
No, I'm wearing a shirt.
Oh. Dance, bitch, dance.
Hey, you lovely nerds. This is Nisha M., your geek mom, from Diversely Geek. Diversely Geek is a global non-profit that promotes self-acceptance by highlighting the positive message of fandom. We're all fans of something that has affected us for the better. We like to express that love by embracing our inner geeks with you all on our podcast Diversely Geek Discusses. We also have a podcast for any Whovians out there called Doctor Who in Review. We often partner with Manbitesmedia, so you're bound to come across us sooner or later. You can find us all on our podcast platforms as Diversely Geek Discusses and on social media platforms as Diversely Geek. You can also subscribe on our website, diverselygeek.org, where you can find our podcasts, videos, original content, articles, and so much more. And remember, there's some good in this world, Mr. Aslan.
Asshole.
All right, guys, welcome back to our new, not so new segment, the movie bucket list, where William picks at random a movie off of these posters he has, and he surprises Lewis and myself, and we discuss amongst ourselves if it should or should not be on this list. So, William.
All right. So this is a movie that is a classic, and I think that we're all going to agree on the movie this week. It stars a lot of what will become future actors.
And before William chooses a movie we've already reviewed. Sorry.
Wow.
A man fucks up twice, and that's all he's remembered by. I'm sorry.
Dance, fat boy, dance.
He's just jealous because you can't split.
Hey, by the way, that was beautiful.
Mad skill.
That was. I will give you props on that one. I can't do that.
Yeah,
go back.
I can't either.
Go back to the movie. Okay, what is this? This gem?
This gem of a movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, give you a hint or not. There's a Lewis lookalike in this movie. Right? It's like, what?
Well, that could be anybody because Lewis is an ugly piece of shit. So you never know.
Yeah, no, but this is one that this is like pre-Smeagol ugliness.
Damn, I'm completely lost. Like I don't have any idea as to what this is. Lewis?
Nope, no idea.
No? You're okay?
Nope. Okay, what if I told you that this is where we all learned how to do the truffle shuffle?
The Goonies.
Didn't we do the Goonies already?
Did we?
I don't know. That's why I don't think we did. Wait, did we review it or did the?
Wait.
I know we reviewed it, but I don't think that we covered it as the top 100.
Yeah, somebody's probably.
I think you reviewed it, Brandon.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll go with it. If we've done it,
okay.
We apologize. As I've said before, this podcast I love it, but it's a dumpster truck on fire, and there will be days where we make mistakes, and this might be one of them. So we're forewarning you for next time. But
for next time, now you're stuck.
Yeah, because I do think that I have reviewed, or at least we've spoken about the Goonies at one point.
I figured reviewing and talking whether it should be in the top 100 is two different things.
True.
Yeah.
So we're not reviewing the Goonies. We're just wondering if it should be in the top 100.
Like, Chunk is he's like my spirit animal. When he does the truffle shuffle, it gives me life. Okay? I love this movie. I know Lewis is kind of like meh about this movie. He said it before on the show. I
didn't grow up watching the movie, so when I watched it for the first time and I was a teenager, and even more
ironically that this movie's more your time than my time.
I know, and you're the one that introduced it to me, and honestly, like I was even more of a freaking pretentious snob when this movie was introduced to me, and I was like, it was all right.
Yeah, dude, my cousin was like an extra edgy teenager. Like, those teenagers that you just want to backhand and be like, shut the fuck up. That was my cousin in a nutshell. I was like that too, but my cousin was like extreme.
I grew up with a fascination of film, so I like grew for exponentially during high school appreciation for true cinema.
Fuck off.
No, but honestly, like, I've seen the Goonies again since the last review that we've done, and just because I want to kind of see it
Give
again.
it another shot.
And I've always appreciated the movie. I just don't enjoy it as much as most people. Very much like Princess Bride, I thought it was always overrated and stuff like that. And I think I will change my attitude a little bit on this one.
Wow.
I actually do appreciate this film a little bit more. Watching it with a different perspective. And it is a fun movie to watch. It is very much like Stand By Me, like, what do you call it, Sandlot.
Dude, it stars Thanos before he had like a nutsack of a chin and before he became purple.
Oh yeah, it's true. I forgot he was in it.
I was like, damn, did that joke just go over everybody?
Wow, no, I was just thinking. I was like, was he really? And I'm like, no, he really fucking was.
Yeah, it's Josh Brolin when he was a dreamy, probably like 17-year-old guy.
When he was actually making real cinema.
Oh my god! Well,
that joke's not going to get old. That joke is not going to get old.
Actually, can we just say yes?
You're the host of the show.
I know.
You have a lot of leverage, right?
I'm gonna banish you to the shadow realm.
Can we get a different co-host?
I'm down as fuck. Second of all, can we just admit that my cousin said that the Goonies is actual cinema? Can we?
I swear, I'm gonna start counting how many times we can get Branden to like clap to something.
By the way, when I clap, I hope to God that whoever is listening to our show right now, that the Shia LaBeouf meme comes to mind where he's in the theater just clapping.
Yes,
that's perfect. I think the best attribute that came out of the Goonies is Sean, like just
Sean Astin,
Sam, Sam.
Rudy, motherfucker.
Rudy.
No,
if anything, he was Rudy before he became Sam from the Goonies.
Sam.
Whatever. Fuck you.
I don't know, man. I just, I really like this movie. I grew up with it. My parents, they were they were the ones that introduced it to me. I just think it's a really fun movie. All the characters are really likable. It's like that friend group that you're like, I wish I had a friend group as cool as these kids.
Dude,
but I never will.
The mom from what do you call it? Throw the mom from the train.
Yes.
She's fucking awesome. Dude, she plays the best villains always. She's just so good.
She's terrifying in this movie. But and it's just like the dialogue, like when
she reminds me of my mom.
Damn.
Wow, that explains so much.
Lord have mercy. When Corey Feldman's character starts like talking Spanish to the housemaid and like he tells her that people are being tortured in the basement or the attic, and I just love the movie. The "Hey You Guys" scene is there's just so much to like about this movie.
By the way, Mom, if you're listening to this, I love you.
Hi, Marcia. It's been like I don't even remember when was the last time I saw you. If you're listening, but hi. This has become a love letter to Lewis's mother. This episode.
Dude, she surprised me a couple times that she's listened to some of the podcasts, and I was like, what?
Wow, really?
Yeah, I was like, what? You're listening to this?
Wow.
Don't listen to that.
Marsha.
I love the fact that like they had cut out an entire scene and they didn't edit towards the end. So like there's something like when they're being interviewed and the little Chinese boy is talking about like the octopus. And we have no idea what the hell. We have no idea what the hell he's talking about. And then we realized there was a whole octopus scene that was cut from the movie.
I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it. That's hilarious.
It's Richard Donner. I mean, he gave us so many great films.
Yes, he did. Is William there? Did he die?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. He just stopped talking. It was so abrupt. I was like, is he there? Hello? Hello? He fell?
Is it me?
You're looking for... Sorry. Yeah, okay. So the question is, do you guys think that this should be on the top 100? I'm going to say no on Lewis's part.
I think it should. Yes. Top 50.
Branden?
No, bitch. I want to hear your answer first. I'm taking executive order here. I'm the host of this show.
Shock and abuse of authority.
Fuck off. Tell me what you think.
Shut up, Trump.
All right. So Lewis, where should it be on the top 100?
98. Final answer. Yes, I do, because
I just imagine me dressed as Regis Philbin and you're just like there like 98 final answer and I'm like, you just won $1 million.
I think that it does, because it truly did inspire a lot of people, and a lot of filmmakers push on this particular film as inspiration. So in that sense, it has made an impact on...
Like who? Do you know, like, off the top of your head?
I would tell you right now, freaking Spielberg.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Spielberg, he's a producer.
Huge. Yeah, but he drew a lot of influence from this for other films in the future. So I mean, that in itself is worth it. Just there's been a lot of filmmakers that have come out saying that they really love that film and they use it as kind of like a launch pad. Super 8 comes to mind.
Yes, totally
Abrams, he brought that up.
I guess like you could even say like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Sort of, kind of.
I mean, that dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, Stranger Things kind of shot like in the same way. It's kind of like like not E.T., but when you think about it, like even like the Goonies, but it's like, you know, if the Goonies were...
I mean, it's only 3 years apart.
Yeah.
They were being done at the same time, basically. So, I mean, both of those films, they influenced like the children acting. You know, if it wasn't for this movie, we wouldn't have Stand By Me, which is classic, you know, in my opinion. And there's a lot of influences from it. I think that I think it really is a piece of cinema because the cinematography in it is gorgeous. The music is something to behold. Like that soundtrack is fucking epic.
The last like one of the final shots when the ship comes out of the cave.
Oh, dude, the music in that is great.
When they're like on the beach and stuff, and like, it's so good, dude.
Dude, that music, like it gets under you remember it as much as like the Jaws theme and stuff like that. Like I could hear it right now in my head, you know, and it is the subtlety of it that makes it so good. It's something that could go underappreciated, but it has true value to it. And I definitely do think that it belongs on the list.
And everyone wants a best friend like Sloth.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Because he is kind of adorable in a really ugly way. Like when he talks and his little ear goes crazy.
Dude, that is the best.
It's a weird ear.
Like I personally, what was your favorite character out of all of them? Mine was Data.
Data. I would have to go with Chunk or Sloth.
Yeah, I'll go with Sloth.
I'll go Sloth too, probably. I'm gonna go Sloth. He's just adorable.
I loved Data because of the freaking inventions. I love the inventions, dude.
Yeah. So where do I put it? Yes. And where'd you put it, William?
Top 50.
Top 50. I really like this movie, and the nostalgia tinted glasses are coming out. I'm gonna put this in the 30s.
Okay, I thought it was gonna be higher for you.
No. I really like this movie, but like I think the 20s and the 10s are the teens and the 10s are more for some really special movies. But I really, really like the Goonies. Like every time the Goonies is on TV, no matter where it is in the movie, I will stop.
Oh, I know.
And I will watch that movie.
I know. I remember all too well.
Yeah. This is definitely one of those movies that I'm like waiting for the local theater, the Gable Cinemas I'm always talking about. They should endorse the shit of our show.
You should be on that.
I really should. If they ever showed the Goonies, I would
you'd be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'd be there in a heartbeat. So so in the top 30, so we all unanimously agree, even Lewis. I'm very surprised. I'm very, very surprised.
Hey, I admit things, you know, when I'm wrong, I admit them.
Mm-hmm. After fucking like me pulling your teeth.
Hey, you know, sometimes
takes an impeachment proceeding, but you get there.
Hey, right, I turned around on Harry Potter. You should be proud about that.
True, dude.
I mean, like, I will say this. Yes, I am very proud and very happy that you turned around on Harry Potter. I am a lot more proud the fact that you turn around on fucking Cabaret. And I will always give you I will always give you those props on that, because I honestly thought that we were going in like not in a shit show, but that you were just gonna sit there in the back the entire show and just be like, I fucking hated it. It's a musical. Like, it's stupid. It was okay. Whatever. But the fact that I actually, and not just me, obviously, Samara has all the all the credit due on this one. But the fact that you changed around the musical definitely topped me turning you around on Harry Potter.
Look, I'll say this. The segment is done. After I say this little quick tidbit, I don't want to go on a rant, but here we go. I wish you could have seen my cousin when he was a teenager, dude. The amount of shit he talked about Harry Potter and comparing it to Lord of the Rings we're done. We're not getting into that. Stay tuned after this quick break when we come at you live with the main segment of our show, the main review, which is Rosemary's Baby.
The shade I used to throw.
Dude, it was, oh man, it was like nonstop. It was like, this is a piece of shit. Comparing it to Lord of the Rings, fucking, oh my god, it was horrible, dude. It was fucking horrible. And then I don't know what happened. One day he was like, it's not that bad. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Like, what? Are you feeling sick?
Yeah.
Welcome to an exploration of sight and mind, a travel through the world of films and the artists that bring you these masterpieces. Do you love films, directors, actors, cinematographers, editors, composers, or any of the hundreds of artists that bring you these feats of art? I am Luislacau, your host into the world of films, your guide to Man Bites Retro.
Alright guys, welcome back for the main segment of our show, the main review, which is Rosemary's Baby. So I picked this movie because A, I had never seen it.
What?
B, yes. B, I know it's like regarded, like it's highly regarded. So I was like, you know what? It's October. Let me choose something that I've never seen, you know, something horror. Spoopy, as the kids say nowadays.
But
yes.
But I gave you shit about it because of one thing that I forgot, which was the director that made this film.
I don't know why this has anything to... I don't understand this, but okay.
So
go ahead.
It's the same thing that I said about Woody Allen last week. You know, as much as I appreciate his movie, I can't, in good fate, actually, like, put money in that man's pocket. It's the same thing with Roman Polanski. I can't put money in a fucking child molester's hands. I'm sorry.
My thing is...
He's not allowed in the United States because he's a child molester.
Yeah, he will get arrested on spot.
What would you do, Lewis, if, hypothetically speaking, you woke up tomorrow and breaking news, somebody has come forward and has accused or said something along the lines that Stanley Kubrick molested them when they were younger?
If there's proof and there's actual validity to it, I would not purchase any Stanley Kubrick films new. I will not.
What would you do with all the memorabilia and stuff that you have, knowing that your money has gone to his estate?
I can't do anything at this point because I didn't know before.
Okay.
My thing is, okay, I'm not saying that like Roman Polanski is a good person whatsoever. It's just, what the fuck does it have to do with this movie?
It
Nothing.
has to do with endorsing the film and stuff like that, and the fact that he gets money every time there is.
Oh yeah, I could say Roman Polanski's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But like Rosemary's Baby is a good movie.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying anything about the actual art itself. I mean, I have like 3 films of Woody Allen on my top 50 movies of all time.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away from the art, which it does have an exception, but we have to address the elephant in the room. The man is a scumbag, and if you are to watch this film, you are endorsing this scumbag. Now, we'll talk about it as a film, but I was hesitant about reviewing this film after I remembered that it was Roman Polanski.
Again.
And that's why I was hesitant about it. It wasn't because it's the film itself, but I was very hesitant on endorsing it.
I can separate the two. I don't know. To me, that has, like, Roman Polanski as a person has nothing to do with this movie. I don't know why it needs to be brought up. And that's it. It's just a film, you know?
Okay.
Like, just separate the two. But yeah, going back to...
I know, but we just wanted to put that as a disclaimer at the beginning so we could actually get into the fun stuff.
So yeah, Rosemary's Baby, horror movie from 1968. Fuck you, are you laughing at me?
Yes, I am.
Why?
Mia Farrow. Like,
dude,
she's badass in this. Like, she is incredible actress in this.
Yeah. So yeah, it stars Mia Farrow, as Lewis just said, and her playing, what's her name again?
Rosemary Woodhouse.
Rosemary, thank you. I don't know why I don't remember that. And her husband Guy, which is played by John Cassavetes. Thank you. They move into this new apartment. They live in New York. He's an actor. She doesn't work. She's like a stay-at-home mom. Not even... Jesus Christ. At least burp away from the mic.
I did.
My God, savage. I don't know if that was like a thing in the 60s because they don't even have children, but she's a stay-at-home woman. I don't know.
No, It was. It was.
Was it? Okay, that's what I assumed. I just wasn't sure. So they move in, and her husband, Guy, is like an up-and-coming actor who's trying to make it big in New York, but is having difficulties with his career. And they move in next to this old couple who are the nosiest and most annoying people ever. I straight up would send them to hell and be like, get the fuck out of my house, please. And weird shit starts happening. I don't know how far you want me to go in the plot.
I think that's enough right there.
Yeah,
that's good enough.
That's good enough. Yeah, so we're some spoopy stuff starts happening to Rosemary, and it's no bueno.
So do you think it's like?
Yeah, I hear that clicking super hard. Thank you.
So I like seriously like do you think it's actually like a possession story or like a what do you call it, a demonic story, or do you think more it's about,
I guess, fuck it, spoilers.
Pregnancy?
I'm just gonna say spoilers at this point, just in case.
Yeah.
Because
it's kind of hard not to go into spoilers.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to go into spoilers. So spoilers, if you haven't seen Rosemary's Baby, stop listening right now and go watch it because it's really good. So okay, go back to what you were asking. Like, what do you?
So do you think that it is about what do you call it, pregnancy and the difficulty of having a difficult pregnancy? Or do you think it is about an actual demonic fetus that is in her body?
I don't know, man. I didn't really think of it like that much, like in the sense of like, oh, this is like this isn't like a message. Yeah,
there's a lot of subtleties to this film. Like there's two different ways that you could perceive it. One is either a very feminist perception of the film, that she is learning her independence by throwing back all the different perceptions and everything that was in her life before. Subtleties of having her with pigtails and kind of this very prissy woman going to a woman that is owning herself and being who she wants to be at the end. And then
getting the pixie haircut.
Yeah. Or it could be the complete opposite, which is what do you call it? The whole story is about this very conservative approach to life, that because she was so happy at the beginning when she was, subduing herself to this asshole, that she was living the good life because she was allowing herself to be dominated by this man. And by doing so, by embracing conservative traditions and stuff like that, you're living the good life. And that's why she was happy at the beginning and not happy at the end. There's two different points of view that you could approach, which is kind of, it's pretty masterful the way that the film is done. And I was like, I watched it and I was thinking one thing, and then afterwards looking back on it, I was like, hold on a second, there's a lot more to this.
Was Sharon Tate probably not pregnant at the time of making this movie?
I don't know.
His wife, Roman Polanski.
I don't know why.
No, because I'm asking because maybe he made this movie kind of like with her in mind or something. Maybe she had a difficult pregnancy. I don't know. I'm just grasping at straws right now.
Probably.
I don't know.
Could have been, but honestly, like I think that there's a lot of amazing artistry in this film too. Like the long shots, dude. Oh my god, those long shots are freaking epic. I really enjoyed it.
The movie's weird. Like I've brought this up. Like I've said it with like Asian cinema. Like the pacing is weird. Movies, specifically horror movies from the 60s, have some weird ass pacing.
Really? You think so?
Not in a bad way. It's just weird. Like it's kind of like it's slow. For it being a horror movie, there's not really many scenes that are like very
There's no
horror.
gore. There's no gore.
No gore whatsoever. I was actually very surprised there's even nudity.
Yeah.
I thought the scene where like they're in the new apartment and she's like, "Let's make love," and he's like, "Okay," and then like they just sit there and like they don't undress each other. They
just start taking each other's yeah.
They just did their own clothes off, and it's like, I guess this is how they did it back then. They were like, we're gonna do it, and we're just going to undress ourselves. And
I think that goes back to the conservative traditions and all that stuff. That's where it's kind of trying to either pay commentary or actually endorse it. So I don't really know. I doubt that it's endorsing it with Roman Polanski's history and what do you call it? What's his face's
who?
The writer of this. Ira Levine. Like,
yeah, is that a woman or a man? I can't. Oh, it's a man.
It's
okay.
Ira. Sorry, Ira Levine. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wow, totally killed that name. But yeah, like I think that it is kind of, it allows itself to be anything that could create horror. So for a person that has that conservative mentality, it has that horror element. For the person that is not and is very liberal and open-minded, it has that conservative thing to scare you even more. It's a psychological mindfuck, I think.
He's the writer also of Stepford Wives.
That makes sense.
Huh. That's interesting. I don't know, man. Now that you've like brought all this stuff up about like like I didn't view the movie like that. I kind of just came in thinking like it was your, like a typical horror movie or a horror movie from the 60s. Like something like Psycho, that it's not, I don't know, like it's more to the point instead of having like these underlying tones that like maybe if I watched it again, I would catch on like the whole.
But the films, I mean, the way that the film's shot, you could tell that it has that cinematic approach to it where you could actually go deeper in the film. Like, making it part of true cinema.
Ironically, you know what I found to be the creepiest scene for some odd reason?
Which one?
When almost at the end of the film, when she's in the apartment, when she escapes from her husband and the doctor, and she takes the elevator up to their apartment.
Yes.
And she locks the door and she's in there, and then you see the two guys like in the back kind of like tiptoeing. I don't know why that scared the shit out of me. I was like, there's something just so...
Well, because it wasn't expected.
Yeah, it's so like terrifying. Like she's in a room, she's in their apartment, she's locked the door. You as a viewer are like, okay, she's safe. There's no way that somebody can get in. And then you see these two guys just like tiptoe, and you're like, it's so off-putting. I don't know. And it's a really interesting film. I think for very little, it's kind of scary and just like it leaves like a weird feeling and a weird taste in your mouth. It's kind of like, ugh.
Agreed. William, how about you? Any thoughts on this film?
Okay, so.
Ooh, I'm ready, baby. I'm ready.
Yes, it's a classic. Yes, it's enjoyable.
Had you seen it before?
Once before.
Okay.
But it was like years ago. I could barely remember it.
Okay, gotcha.
Here's how I watched this movie. And I'm going to start by saying this. This movie is long, and it doesn't have to be long. And I proved that it doesn't have to be long.
I actually felt okay with the length.
I did too.
I started watching it. I watched it up until the scene where she's fed the I guess it's like chocolate mousse or whatever the hell it is that makes her feel like all queasy, and then she gets like that nightmare where like the devil is doing it with her.
Basically, where she gets raped by the devil.
Pretty much.
Where she gets raped by her husband, which he actually admits to afterwards.
I fell asleep right after that scene.
Okay. Time out. Before you continue, William.
Yeah.
Is it actually her husband that rapes her, or is it the devil?
No, it's actually her husband. He even admits it after he comes out of the bathroom. He says, "Oh yeah, those scars that you got on the back of your back."
But how I took it was that's just him lying.
Yeah.
That the devil actually did rape her, and that was not him.
Yeah, and because
that's how I took it.
The husband's in on it, so he's like making an excuse where those are not human scratches. I'm not going to go into detail, but I mean, like, we've all been there
Yeah.
where we woke up and we had a really good night with our significant other or whatever hookup we had, and we had scratches on her back, but those scratches were not human.
Yeah, that's how I took it. I was like, he's already in on it. He, instead of, like, basically covering it up, like, yeah,
that was me. Like,
that's me. Whatever. Yeah, I raped you, but it's not really him raping her. It's just kind of him covering up because, yes.
Let's talk about how simply that was, like, okayed, by her. She was like, oh, okay. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You just got, like, violently, like, violent sex while you're knocked the fuck out. So basically you're raped. And it's okay because it's your husband?
And he even says, like, it had, like, a little bit of a necromancy feel to it.
A necrophile. I was like, ugh.
I'm like, I'm into a lot of kink. That's not one of them. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And he just says it so fucking nonchalantly. And I'm like, damn. Like, fuck that shit. But anyway.
That scene, so when she gets raped by the devil, so that scene where they're all like surrounding her naked, that actually happened? The seance?
I don't think so. I think it's all in her mind.
I don't know,
the whole
man.
thing, I think it's all in her mind.
I legit think that she got knocked out, and he took her through that fucking hidden door to the couple's apartment, the old couple, and they basically did this whole ritual, and she got raped by the devil.
I think the whole film is a symbolism of a bad relationship and a bad pregnancy in a bad relationship. I think it's all symbolism about that, and it was all playing out in her mind.
So you don't think that the devil thing is doesn't exist?
It just plays as a backdrop, as a scare factor for what do you call it, for the actual story itself. But I think it's all symbolism for a bad pregnancy and a bad relationship.
One more thing before we get back to what William was saying. Do you think she's actually happy at the end with her baby?
No.
Because she smiles.
Yeah, but it's a forced smile.
I think that she just, like, understands that this is her life now and that she's just better off accepting it, and there's nothing that she can do about it. Like, she just settles into the thought process that this is who I am now. This is it. There's nothing more to it.
Rip.
This is as good as it gets.
I agree.
All right. So going back to what you were saying, William. So
I fell asleep. I fell asleep right after that scene. I woke up right when she is escaping. Like you said, like she escapes from like the doctor and her husband and all that good stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I watched the end of the movie, and it made perfect sense. Anything in the middle was too like didn't need to be filmed.
So
this could have been like a 40-minute movie and be done with it and be like, yep, you got raped by the devil.
So so did you go back and rewatch what you missed or no?
Nope.
Interesting.
I did it, but here's the thing, and it's not because I didn't want to go back and watch it, because I literally wanted to bring up this point, and like this is how I watched the movie, and even having missed about like 50% of it, it still made complete sense, which goes to show how much. Like I'm sure that like in the middle there's obviously like a lot of storyline and
when I was bringing up the stuff about the different personalities and the different approaches that you could approach the film, that's all lost if you don't watch the whole film. If you miss that whole second act, then you don't pick up the subtleties. But the
thing is, if you look at it from Branden's perspective, where it's like it's the devil, and it's basically you look at it from the perspective of she gets raped by the devil, and then at the end she realizes that she's had the devil's child, and that she, accepts that fact, and that she's going to be raising, the devil, the
Adrian,
devils, and Adrian basically and whatnot. There's the movie.
Yeah, like I'll be honest with you.
There's a lot more to it. I think
I'm gonna be flat honest with you. I didn't come at this movie thinking there were subtleties. I didn't pick up any subtleties. I just watched it as a horror movie. That's it. I watched it about a girl that gets raped by the devil and has a shitty time. That's it. Now, maybe if I go back and...
she's had a hell of a time.
Oh, my God. Jesus.
No, Jesus had nothing to do with this. Did you not watch the movie? Jesus Christ, even I know that.
But now maybe if I do go back and watch it, maybe I'll pick up on the subtleties. But as of right now, only having seen the movie once, I watched it for face value, and that's it.
And this is why I enjoy cinema rather than movies.
Because of the underlying tones?
That's right. It's the subtle shit that's beautiful about movies. It's movies that have that undertones to it that are like add its extra value in the film.
I can hear the disappointment in your voice that I didn't catch these subtleties.
Well, it's not that. It's just it's what William did. That you only watch half the film. I'm like, what? How do you enjoy a movie like that? You can't.
I can see it. Like I agree with you, but I can also see if it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, but you lose so much of a movie just watching the first and third act.
I agree. Like you missed the part where she
missed the journey of everything.
You missed the part where she gets gifted the book by Hutch, and that basically shows her that like her neighbors are Satanists.
Yeah, which is very interesting because that goes even further into some of the subtleties and stuff like that, where it goes back to that conservative and non-conservative approach where the guy is stealing the book from her and all that stuff and like constantly telling her she can't read books.
Oh yeah, how about the scene when he tells you can't go to the doctor?
Yeah. Oh.
When she's like, I want to go back to my original doctor, and he's like, you can't do that. I was like, damn, dude, is that like actually a thing in the 60s? Like, man,
and then when she does go to a different doctor, that doctor calls the husband and the other doctor. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's where I was talking about the subtleties of the conservative values and the liberal values. It goes to that. It's like you could play that either way, and it plays into both hands.
But that's not something that's new to this movie. You watch a lot of movies that were made back then that were based around a couple. The male is always the authoritative figure. The male is always the one that's like,
but it's a little bit more in this one. It is a lot less subtle than most movies. Like this and like Streetcar Named Desire are like the two ones where that the subtlety is out the door 100%. Which they're both commentary on that, on a relationship. And that's why I think that's where you start getting the inclinations that there's more to this movie than just meets the eye.
Like I said, I really enjoyed this movie.
Transformers.
Like, I legit really enjoyed the movie. I think the writing is really good. The acting for the time is really, really good. The cinematography is A1.
Dude, those long shots are beautiful. Yeah.
Everything about it's creepy. It's not like if you're looking for a horror that's like, holy shit, this is probably not for you. But if you're looking for like a slow burn that, according to my cousin, has like, underlying tones and shit like that, then Rosemary's Baby will definitely be a good one for you. So, Lewis, what do you give it?
I'll give it a 8.5 out of 10.
William?
6.
Damn. I'm gonna go with an 8. Damn, you. Maybe if you watched the middle part of the movie, you're
seriously.
I have never been a big Polanski fan. I mean, I've watched his movie to watch his movies, but like when you guys said when you were watching Rosemary's Baby, I was like, I'm going into this, and it's like I don't think that like maybe would have gained a point or so had I watched the middle of it, but I don't think that I was ever going to get like a high score. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, guys. So stay tuned after this quick break for our final segment of the show, the individual reviews. Never live.
Never.
As the songs of awakening rang through, the world was created. The silence was broken.
Middle-earth, with its rolling hills, broken mountains, flowing rivers, and beautiful forest, was created.
Cellar Door is a journey into the mythology, the mystery, and the beauty of Middle-earth. Sit back.
Close your eyes.
And imagine.
I hate you. Are you mocking me?
No.
Welcome
Your
back.
cousin, maybe. You, no.
Okay, thanks. Welcome back, guys, to the final segment of our show, the individual reviews, never live. Lewis is going to be going first this week.
So, I can't figure out which movie to watch, which movie to review. So, I'm going to give you guys the option. Choose door 1, 2, or 3.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
What are we,
Two.
what are we, 5 years old?
Yes.
3.
Two. All right,
Two.
Three. Go to 3.
Fuck 3.
Fuck it, go 1.
Go 1?
This is what you get, Lewis, for like putting us on the
pee?
spot like this.
All right. I am going to do a review of... Fuck it, why not?
But you gave us 1, 2, and 3. You didn't know what number you assigned to what movie?
I was debating whether I wanted to do it or not. All right. The town that dreaded Sundance. Sundown. Sorry. God damn it. What the fuck?
Wow, can we restart this entire segment?
No.
So,
Burn, suffer.
This is a 1976 film. It is a horror film. It's what started like the really like kind of the slasher genre. It's a mockumentary that.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's one of the original mockumentaries about this guy, this hooded serial killer that terrorizes this small town in Arkansas. Which
Clinton?
No, the pedophile was in the last one. The last movie that we talked about.
Clinton wasn't a pedophile.
No, he was a molester. Sorry.
Oh my god.
So the town that they're talking about is Texarkana, which, ironically enough, it adds to the creep factor completely. The next day after watching this film, I work in a pharmacy, and one of the patients, while I was talking to the person next to me about this film, the patient that came up while we were talking about this was from Texarkana, which freaked me the fuck out, by the way. But
Eastbound down.
So the film really doesn't have any major actors or anything because it's a mockumentary, but it revolves around this serial killer and the cops trying to stop them. And they bring in this guy that's supposed to be like this criminal, psychological genius that could actually stop the murders and everything like that. And this is actually based on a true event that actually occurred. And they never caught the guy, which it's not a spoiler in the film or anything like that, but because it's actually said at the beginning. But it's so interesting the way that they approach this film. And you could tell the Texas Chainsaw Massacre influences. You could tell a lot of these films that came after this were influenced by this film.
Isn't Texas Chainsaw Massacre before this movie?
I do not believe so.
Yes, I'm gonna say yes.
It's 74.
Yeah, that's 2 years before, right?
Okay, yeah.
I won.
No, but it's the actual character themselves, like the way that they and all that stuff, and also Halloween, which actually, if you notice, the killer is actually wearing a bag over his head.
Yes, I saw that.
Like the original Halloween. And
no, like the original Friday the 13th. You mean? Actually, not even the original, the second one.
Sorry. Yeah, whatever. Sorry. That's right.
You know, well, whatever. Speak well about Halloween, dude. You fuck. All right. God damn.
You know, the more I watch that movie, it's good, but there's better horror movies.
Shut the fuck up.
This is a good horror movie. It's really enjoyable. It's on Amazon.
But is it cinema?
No, it's definitely not. And this is streaming on Amazon Prime. But so I definitely recommend it. I give it a 7 out of 10. It is an enjoyable watch. It only runs an hour and 30 minutes. And it is definitely, it's entertaining for the time that you're watching it. It is dated.
Okay.
It feels very old. Like the cops are kind of cartoony and weird acting, but it adds a little comedic element to it, which I think is pretty funny. So
okay,
yeah. And by the way, for anybody out there on that wants to watch more horror movies, check out the new Creepshow show on Shudder. It's actually really good. I saw the first 2 episodes already.
Oh, really? I haven't seen any of it yet.
Yeah, it's really good. Classic, goes back to what it was before. And In the Tall Grass, right?
Yes.
In the Tall Grass is a 7 out of 10. So I definitely recommend it if you're interested in watching it. It does have its problems and kind of glitches, but it's still good. So yeah.
Nice. Okay. Cool. So I'm going second. I'm putting my foot down. I know we usually review stuff that's on streaming services, but I'm big dick energy over here.
Hold on.
I'm the host.
Dick energy.
Stop moving the mic.
I'm not anywhere near my mic.
Somebody is like boop, boop, boop on the mic.
I'm not.
I promise.
I'm nowhere near it.
Are you hitting the table?
No. I'm literally sitting on my couch, like phone down, mic down, having a drink.
All right, it doesn't matter. Whatever. All right. So back to what I was saying. I know we usually review stuff that is on streaming services, but I am the host of the show, and I am exerting my big dick energy on the world right now, and I'm reviewing a movie that is not on a streaming service because why the fuck not? That movie is Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one with Jack Black?
Yes.
The first one?
Yes.
Okay.
The reason, so I was out of town this weekend with my girlfriend. We were in the Keys, and one of the nights
how the hell do you say you can't go to the movies because you always broke? But every time we do a show, you're like, I was out of town with my girlfriend this weekend, or I was over here with my girlfriend. Like, Jesus Christ.
Her mom actually paid for the trip. It was like a gift for my girlfriend and myself.
No. You don't have to explain. I was just busting your ass at all.
No, but that's honestly what it was. Her mom was like, "I surprised you with a trip," and we're like, "Okay." So yeah.
Cool.
So one of the nights, we came back to the hotel, and I put on the TV, and ABC Family, or what is now called Freeform, they're having like their 31 nights of Halloween or whatever. And they started playing Goosebumps, and I was like, ew, this movie's probably going to be a piece of shit. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to hate watch the shit out of this.
I'm going to hate watch the shit out of it.
It stars Jack Black, Dylan Minnette, which is the main character of 13 Reasons Why. I'm going to say that's probably your roommate. And
yes.
It also stars Odeya Rush, which she was in a movie that we reviewed in one of our earlier episodes, which was Dumplin'. She's the best friend of the main character. Have you seen Goosebumps, Louis? I could have sworn you told me in the past you've seen it.
I did, and I enjoyed it.
Me too.
There's something pleasant about this film.
I was so pleasantly.
I don't know what.
I was so pleasantly surprised that I started hate watching it, and at the beginning I was like, "Oh, this looks really cheesy," and it kind of is because it's it's a kids movie.
Oh, it's definitely cheesy. It's definitely cheesy, but it's good cheesy.
But it gave me
good cheesy.
It gave me so much vibes like Jumanji.
Yep.
That I was like, I'm on board, and I'm enjoying this. It's a really good time, and I think the whole premise is really cool. That like Jack Black plays the actual creator and writer of Goosebumps, R.L. Stine, and that his creations come to life from his writings because, you know, he has some cool, like, superpower where whatever he writes comes to life. I don't fucking know. But it's cool. It was a really fun time. Yeah, I'll give it a 7. I was definitely pleasantly surprised. I've heard the sequel's shit.
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen the sequel.
So the only character that returns in the sequel is Jack Black. Everyone else, for some odd reason, just, I guess, didn't want to come back or whatever. And I've heard it's just horrible. The sequel's really, really bad.
I would give this a probably 6.5. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It just, you know.
Yeah, I give it a 7.
Yeah, it was. I was so
middle ground.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed it much more than I thought it was going to.
It was a pleasant surprise. I think it's because our expectations were so low on it that we rated so much higher than it should be.
Yeah, so if you're looking for something like Jumanji, something along those lines, that has, I guess, more
new Jumanji.
Yes, new Jumanji, because 1990 Jumanji is incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't at me on Twitter.
Don't at me on Twitter like anybody follows us on Twitter.
They really don't.
Yeah, so have a presence on Twitter. That's
Goosebumps is really really good, honestly. So yeah, check it out. I give it a 7. So William, round out the show, buddy.
I am reviewing a...
No, man, that was not a fat joke. I am fat like him. I do not fat shame. That would mean I fat shame myself. I'm there for you, buddy. I'm there for you, William.
Appreciate it.
I got you, Holmes.
The shade being thrown right now.
By who? You?
No, I can see Williams. I can hear Williams' like facial expressions towards the mic right now.
Buddy, you know I would never do that to you, right?
No, I know.
Okay.
I'm not worried about it. I'm sitting here playing with my Mario Kart app.
He really is. So continue. What movie are you reviewing this week?
I am going to be reviewing the 2017, I guess you can call it a reboot of Saw, which is streaming on Hulu at the moment.
Saw? The reboot?
Yes.
Jigsaw?
Oh, Jigsaw.
Like Jigsaw, Saw, except like the new movie, it's called Saw. I had seen it in theaters. I rewatched it on Hulu. It is very much like doesn't miss a step from like the first. I would say like the first 1 or 2 Saws when they were like really intricate, really like made you think and wonder, and you know, like the twist is actually kind of really well done, and people were wondering how they bring him back like the original character if, you know, apparently he died, and they find a very good way to do it. It's entertaining. It's gory. It's one of the most gory Saws that there is, and the traps are actually very intricate, very well done.
I can't with these movies. Like, these movies are just straight torture porn to me, and I'm like, eh.
Yeah, but it's torture porn done right, I think. I didn't enjoy
it. It is definitely a popcorn movie. It is definitely, you know, it's not like cinema.
Actually, no. These movies are better than like Hostel. That's like straight torture.
Oh, that is crap.
That's just shit. Yeah, like Hostel's is garbage. But yeah, I'm sorry, William.
No, it's fine. So I mean, it's something that if you are, you know, if you like the original series, this is definitely does justice. It's definitely good.
Does it really?
Hoping. Yeah, it does.
I don't know about that.
It does. My review, bald boy. My review.
Damn. Okay.
Okay, fat boy.
So, I'll give it like a good, probably 8 out of 10. I went into it thinking it was not going to be as good as the originals. But having seen all of the originals,
8?
I'm like, I'll give it a chance. Huh?
8?
Yeah, Jigsaw's number 8.
No. Like, is that your rating for it?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Why, dude? It's his opinion.
No, I'm saying just yikes. I give it a 2. Like that.
Well, guess what, Lewis? You're not the one reviewing this movie, so suck my penis, okay?
Yeah, suck my paella too.
Paella? That's a fucking dish.
I know.
Okay, I was like,
it's a joke. It's like I don't know Spanish that well, but it sounded like an insult, but it didn't say it right.
paella.
Suck my paella.
Spanish word of the day: paella is a seafood dish with rice.
Yeah.
If you've never had it,
I think you meant papaya.
Papaya.
Trying to say papaya.
Papaya is a fruit, but it can also mean something else.
Yeah, to Puerto Ricans, I think, right?
I don't know. Who knows? Tomato. Who gives a shit?
Anybody was out there, let us know.
Tomato. Papaya might mean pussy. I don't know. Whatever. William, what is your pick?
So my pick comes from a trilogy, and I'm only making you watch one of them.
Okay.
And I was gonna be a dick. Well, see, the thing is, there's times where I want to be a dick to Lewis, but I know that by being a dick to Lewis, I'm being a dick to you, Brandon. So I can't do that to you. So,
and I don't mind being a dick to both of you.
Exactly, that's the problem. So instead of making you watch the third installment, I'm going to have you guys watch the first one, and I'm talking about the 1998 movie Blade.
Oh, okay. I love these movies.
Okay.
I mean, I would consider it a classic are you sure, Lewis? Because it is a Marvel movie.
It's a good movie.
Just saying, it's a Marvel, popcorn movie.
You said it yourself.
With,
it's a movie, cutter. Not cinema.
Wait, so you're making us watch which one?
The first one, the original Blade.
The original, okay.
Yeah, because originally I was like, oh my god, I'll make him watch Blade Trinity, but then I'm like, no, because then I gotta watch.
We had this conversation. I actually like Blade Trinity.
Yes, because you have no taste in movies. Not cinema, but movies.
All right, guys. So Blade, the OG Blade from 1998, starring Wesley Snipes.
Yes.
I can't wait to just the beginning of the movie, the rave and the blood. Oh,
dude,
sorry.
I remember the raves back in the day. You remember that? The warehouse parties and all that stuff?
I was never part of that, so I'm going to say negative.
No. Wow, that backfired on Lewis.
William, did you?
Dude, raves aren't a thing anymore, dude. They were never a thing when I was, like, of age.
It's not cool to go to Running Man anymore.
God damn it. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys so hard. So, William, did you ever go to any raves?
Karma is a bitch. Hey, ho, Delio. Karma is a bitch.
Did you go to any raves so I can fucking put this dead horse down, bro?
I went to a few when I was in college.
I've always wanted to go to, like, one of those, like, underground raves, but the silent ones where they give you, like, headphones. That sounds really cool.
It's weird.
I know, it's probably strange.
It's not a rave, but, like, in New York, they do, like, silent disco ice skating in the wintertime. And it's weird because, like, you're listening to music, and then, like, you're looking around, and everybody's, like, literally dancing to the beat of their own beat. And it's like, when you go and you listen to music, you like to, like, listen to what you're listening about, watching how other people are dancing to it as well, just to, like, get an idea. And I don't know, it's just weird.
It's fine. All right, guys. So, Blade for next week.
Where's it streaming on?
Hulu.
Hulu.
All three of them are on Hulu.
Yep.
Okay, guys, so if you enjoyed our show, of course, listen to our other shows. We got Madman with a Mic. We got Candlelit Blowjobs. Yo, when are we doing that?
Anytime. I've watched all three a million times.
Yes. I need to watch. Oh, yeah, I need to watch the third one. We'll do that soon. Of course, we got Cellar Door, which is with Lewis and Nisha, which is all about the Lord of the Rings, El Señor de los Anillos.
And we got the last episode of Wizarding with William Phoenix for this year.
Yes.
That is dropping next Wednesday, so stay tuned for that one.
Congrats.
Totally excited about that.
And he'll be coming back next year with much more and more interesting.
That's all about Harry Pototo. Pototo. Of course, visit us on
Branden.
Of course, visit us on manbitesfilm.com and our sister site, diversitygeek.org. Thank you, Lewis.
Thank you, Branden.
Watch Thor on YouTube.
That too. Thank you, William.
Thank you, Branden.
As always, I'm Branden, and we will see you guys on the next episode of Man Bites Film.
Oh, shit. I forgot to plug. Fuck.
What?
Plug. Go away, bro. We're still here.
Oh.
Still going.
I know. It's just I'm going to be a guest on a wrestling-based podcast at the end of the month. I don't know when he's actually releasing the actual episode, but I know that it's on like the 24th of October or whatever that weekend is. My best friend has been doing a podcast called Kicking Out at 2. And he's asked me, and it's been a while since I watched wrestling, so it's probably going to be like very like old school wrestling based because I'm not up to par with like new people around. But if you are looking for a wrestling podcast or something different to listen to in between our episodes, check out Kicking Out at 2 and give him a like, give him a follow, and support him like you support us.
I stopped watching wrestling when Roddy Piper left. That's how long.
You know what? That's it. Bye.
Joining us next week will be a surprise third host.